200 laps around the famed paper clip, round number 7 of Thursday Night Thunder about to launch. 18 drivers present in tonight's starting lineup. Good Hope Georgia's Cody Pennell has control of the field as the pace car gets ready to peel off and turn these hot rods loose. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special 7th round of TNT. No, still one more pace lap. I'm even getting anxious. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do this. Last week at Talladega, John Honeybrink coming home victorious in a thriller all the way to the finish. This man here, Cody Pennell, and Ohio's Terry Gabbard, who's not present in tonight's race. They were leading coming off that fourth corner, and it was John Honeybrink able to sneak by after they all crashed. Rockwall's Donald Ray on the outside. Good Hope's Cody Pennell on the inside. TNT round 7 is green. Let's go racing! Cody Pennell leads the first lap of competition. He's already got a 4/10 of a second advantage to Donald Ray, who sits behind him in the 5. Toby Estes, Peanut Butter Estes to you. Number 78, Reeses University. Impala SS sitting in that bronze medal position for the moment. Jeremy Brio in the 7-4, coming up with some new colors this week. The No Fear logo on the hood. Old school Kmart logos on the back. There goes Peanut Butter for a wild spin, but he saves it. Keeps it off that inside wall, and we go green. Just the one car spinning around. Donald Ray went purple last lap. 20.08 seconds, the fastest revolution around this half-mile paperclip. Drivers from 3rd all the way down to 11th. Putting in their best laps. Matter of fact, only 1st, 2nd, and 12th did not put in their personal best. So everybody only getting faster in the early Martinsville offering. One of the Bluegrass Bandits present in tonight's race. Greensburg, Kentucky's Briley Wright sits just ahead of Salem, South Carolina's Jason Alexander. There goes the Gamecock fan in that number 5-6 South Carolina machine. Alexander making the early pass for 3rd. The 5-6 up to the 4th position, not 3rd. Jeremy Brio is in 3rd. He's on the move early on, 20.07 seconds. The now new fastest time on the board. Brio within 1 second of race leader Cody Pennell. Headed into this competition, Pennell looking to seal up his very first Thursday Night Thunder victory. We mentioned earlier, Pennell so close to the win last week at the Talladega Super Speedway. He comes into this race 2nd in the point standings. Cody Pennell just a few markers behind Tom Sears. 20 to be exact, but still more than half the season remains. Donald Ray in the 5 comes into this round 17th in the points. The Texan already off to a brilliant start in terms of making up the gap. Further on through the field, looks like Briley Wright's just been caught on the outside, and the entire train of drivers gets run underneath him. Toby Estes in the 7-8 after having a big slide, falls outside the top 10. And Estes now behind the 2-time champion Tom Sears, who holds on to that coveted 10th position. Sears looking to notch on another victory this season. He's got 2 wins so far. Hasn't quite yet completed the hat trick. He's behind Josh Garrison in the number 8-4 yellow Transport Dodge Intrepid. How about some throwback colors there? Another Ohio driver in the Thursday Night Thunder roster. Sits behind Aiden Norman. Norman in that 6'2", won a couple of weeks ago. The rookie with quite a fascinating way to get to victory lane sits 5th in the points. He's 2 markers off of Dustin Painter up ahead. The North Carolinian just sits on the tail end of the top 5. He's 0.8 of a second behind Jason Alexander, but now JK3, Jimmy Kerr III, wants to catch up to him. And speak of the race winner, Aiden Norman goes for a spin out of turn number 4, and the 6'2" Intrepid up against the wall. Elrich George will get around him. Here come the leaders. Norman just can't move, and he's waiting for the opportune moment to get around, but the conveyor continues for Aiden Norman. He's 1 lap down and counting. There's race leader Cody Pennell already down the backstretch, entering that 3rd corner. Aiden Norman, will he go down a 2nd lap? He will not. Norman gets moving, and he finds himself only 1 lap down, but let's look further and see what happened to the 6'2". Oh, he just makes contact with the wall outside of the 2nd corner. Garrison to his inside. Does he give him the encouragement to go around? And Garrison gives him another shove outside of the 4th corner. One more look. Let's ride along with Aiden Norman. Garrison behind. Well, that's quite close contact. And let's look at the notes here. Let's ride along with Josh Garrison. And there's the contact right there. Close enough that it could be netcode, but it just looked like he went just a bit too far. Aiden Norman finds himself on the tail end, 1 lap off the marker, but not the first car 1 lap down. Elrich George from Nassau in the Bahamas, a TNT veteran, finds himself in 17th in the lucky dog position, rocking those Net Zero colors. Shout out to the Net Zero crew, one of the better looking cars out there in the early 2000s, with even the correct decals and everything. You gotta love the dedication. George finding himself 17th, the first car 1 lap down. Dustin Painter has closed the gap up to Jason Alexander, the Salem, South Carolinian, into that chrome garnet and black Impala, trying to hold off Painter. And Stan the iRacer saying, not live on Roku for your information. I can't get into Discord, my friend. So Stan letting us know we're also supposed to be broadcasting live on the Sim Racing channel on Roku TV. Shout out to those folks for showcasing Thursday Night Thunder as well. Bit of technical difficulties on that side, so we'll have to have a look there. Have to give that a shot. But again, thank you to everybody who is watching on Roku. Thank you to everybody at the Sim Racing channel on Roku. We do appreciate the opportunity. Cody Pennell continues to lead. Dustin Painter, however, who was on the attack for Jason Alexander, gets moved to the high side of the racetrack where the cars move beneath him. Painter in the 00, sitting ahead of Riggs in the 3, one of those bluegrass bandits. Cody Riggs in the number 3 Ski Chevy Impala sits just inside of that top 10. Jeff No running a part-time schedule. The 5 car with 1 win this season. That was at Richmond Raceway in his first ever Thursday Night Thunder start. Will he be able to pull the same magic again? 2 starts, 2 victories. We'll have a look, but Jeff No comes into this race 26th in points, running that part-time schedule, but has proven himself well. The 5 has what it takes to win in Thursday Night Thunder. Jason Alexander fell off the racetrack. Toby Estes right behind him. Was there contact between these two? Oh, and that's not the best angle. Let's have a better look. Now you see the front end of the 78 just lifting the back end of the 5.6. And a little how you doing from that third of 3 Bluegrass Bandits in tonight's race. Cody Riggs, Briley Wright, and now the 7.8 of Toby Peanut Butter Estes all over the back end of Jimmy Kerr. He's going to take that Reese's University 7.8 to the inside of that 7.5 Impala. Toby Estes up to 4th so far. Quite the gap to the top 3, though. Toby Estes finds himself 7.5 seconds behind Jeremy Brio in the 7.4. Estes now leading this secondary pack, but it's quite a gap. 7 seconds. 28 laps into this one. Cody Pennell has led every last one of those 28 so far, and he'll go to lead a 29th. Donald Ray, who scored 1 win last season, TNT Season 4, on the verge of another, but Jeremy Brio wants to take that silver medal spot away from the Texan. Further on back, Jeff Noe looking to the inside of Tristan Catania. Moldy Muskrat puts in the chat TNT giveaway 7. Moldy Muskrat, a.k.a. Noah Belleville, a Thursday Night Thunder driver. Moldy, you unfortunately are not eligible to win the prize, but we will start that giveaway for all Thursday Night Thunder fans and non-participants in TNT. Enter !TNT giveaway 7 for your chance to win the AJ Allmendinger 164 Race Win diecast we're giving away tonight. Let's have a look at Cody Riggs. We'll talk more again about that giveaway that we're doing. The front end just sheared off of the front of the number 3 Impala, and 1/3 of the Bluegrass Bandits finds themselves stuck. Let's see what happened to the 3. Just a little too much gas out of the corner, probably. There it is, just a little too much gas, and he nails the front end of that Chevy up against the inside wall, and Riggs losing it. Cody Pennell continues to lead, but now with a slow Riggs. Here comes Donald Ray attacking up the inside. The Texan picks his moment, just waiting patiently, and the G-Max Chevrolet leads his first lap of the race. Have another look at Donald Ray passing Cody Pennell for the lead. Before we take a look, Jeremy Brio now up the inside of the 4-time TNT winner. Brio scoring a victory last season as well, and he moves into that silver medal spot, but will he clear? And Brio gives it a wiggle, and he does not fold out of turn number 4. Cody Pennell, who led all 30 opening laps of this race, now knocked down to 3rd. The 62 of Aiden Norman now behind the Georgian. COT Tommy said, don't sleep on that 5 car tonight. He just got into 1st, and he is feeling himself in that cockpit. Let's ride along with the Texan for a few laps around Martinsville. Very much a rhythm-based racetrack, and Donald Ray feeling the music 39 laps into this race. The Texan now moving to the inside of Elridge George, who will go a 3rd lap down. Aiden Norman now 2 laps down. Kentucky's Cody Riggs 1 lap off of the lead pace. So if the yellow flag does come out, the Kentucky pilot will be the lucky dog, and he will get that lap back. Last week's winner, John Honeybrink, racing with one of the hometown flavors of the week. Tommy Withers, a native Virginian. The opposite direction of the racetrack, says he's about 6 hours south of the Martinsville Raceway. in the Amoco Pontiac Grand Prix. He moves to the inside of John Honeybrink, and that's going to elevate the Virginian up into the 11th position. John Honeybrink still up 4 places from where he started. And if you haven't seen that finish to last week's Thursday Night Thunder race at Talladega, go check it out. You can see it on the Thursday Night Thunder Twitter or at Rick James TV Twitter and on TNT Instagram as well. This guy right here, John Honeybrink, snuck by in this number 20 Bobby Labonte Interstate Pontiac. Just massive, massive finish. Your typical Talladega finish. Big one happens at the end, but great way to get there. Further on back, Ryan Pennell in the 14. He's also up 4 places like John Honeybrink. Says he's going to rock one Casey Kane paint scheme every race this season. And from Richmond, Virginia himself, the town of over 100,000, Ryan. Another hometown Virginian, well, home track Virginian, we should say. Making another start in Thursday Night Thunder. Last season's Talladega race went to Ryan Pennell in similar fashion. Wreck off the 4th corner, survived all the way through to the finish. Ryan says he's got one more chance to win a race this season, and that's at Daytona. So keep your eyes peeled for that number 12 Dodge. How about keeping your eyes peeled for that number 74 Chevrolet? The Impala SS driven by Jeremy Brio. Brio now putting on the pressure to the Texan at the front. Donald Ray from the Lone Star State in the lone number 1 position, but handling the pressure well. 1/4 of a second is the gap from first to second. You expect the drivers to come in sometime soon. 40 to 50 laps is the expected distance. These drivers can go on a tank. 3 tire changes is all they'll get, so they may need to stretch that. And as always, the one fast repair. NASCAR's oldest track, playing host to the 7th round of Thursday Night Thunder racing. Cody Riggs, very gentlemanlike, moving out of the way. Cody Pennell may have been shoved down into 3rd, but he has not gone away. Cody Riggs, however, jumps to the pits. Let's see what happened to the 3. He's making way for the leaders in turn number 3. The Greensburg native smoking those right side tires. Did he blow the engine? What happened to the 3? Riley Wright has also crashed in the 18. Let's see what happened with the Kentucky pilot. Did he spin it off of turn number 4? He does indeed, much like Aiden Norman did, but this time unassisted. Wright makes the move, and look at Jeremy Brio diving to the inside of Donald Ray, trying to pull a move out of Donald Ray's page. Sees the mayhem up ahead and tries to take the advantage and go up the inside line, while the leader's being just that much more cautious. Donald Ray continues to lead from Martinsville. Jeremy Brio is in 2nd. Cody Pennell is in 3rd. It's a Chevy Ford Thunderbird. Top 3 so far at the paperclip. Ryan Pennell gets loose out of turn number 4. He has to get on those brakes hard, and the Virginian goes for a skid up to that inside wall. And just like it says on the top right corner of his driver info, he sent it all right off that 4th corner. Let's ride along with Ryan Pennell, and then we'll try to take a look at Cody Riggs. Let's ride along with Cody Riggs now. Just sounded like the engine revved to an incredibly high rate. And there you hear the car braking, some sort of failure for the Greensburg, Kentucky driver, and he is now out of this race in the 3. Ryan Pennell up to the 14th position so far. He is the 2nd car 1 lap down. New Jersey's Tristan Catania now has the honor of Lucky Dog. He is the first car to be 1 lap off the pace. John Honeybrink now to the outside. Jeff No wants that 11th position from him. Meanwhile, out in first, Donald Ray still with Jeremy Brio right on him. Drivers well exceeding the predicted 40 to 50 lap pit road window. So it looks like these tires may just very well go the distance that they need. Jeff No now to the inside of John Honeybrink. He feels the leaders coming, and the 5-5 is trying to stay ahead. Donald Ray up by 0.15 of a second, now 0.3. You obviously see that time fluctuating heavily as the cars get closer and further away. You know, the entrance and the exit of the corner, so much can happen, despite the fact that these cars aren't going any faster than 100 miles an hour out the exit of turn number 1. It's still so much difference that can play out depending on just how hard a driver is braking, how hard they're accelerating out of the corner. John Honeybrink will move to the inside, and the leaders will circulate around him. And the 40 of Elrich George on the outside keeps on fighting, and we love that spirit, the perseverance. And we know that Elrich George will pick up no worse than 17th placed points for that perseverance. Josh Garrison in the 84 Intrepid. He's up 4 places from where he started on the back end of the top 10. Jeff No now starting to bother the back end of that orange yellow Dodge. "61 laps into this one, Tristan Catania has decided he's on his way out of pit lane. Elrich George on his way in to pit road. Is that the marker? Is 62 laps where these drivers can go on those resources? We'll have a look. If you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You're watching Thursday Night Thunder Round 7 from iRacing's Martinsville Speedway. Don't forget, we're giving away an AJ Allmendinger diecast tonight. Enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 7 for your chance to win that AJ Allmendinger diecast. You can find pictures on Rick James and Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. And again, shout out to the folks over at the Sim Racing channel on Roku. Some technical difficulties tonight, but we do appreciate all of their help and support in this 5th season of racing. Jeff No's got nowhere to run. The leaders have approached the back end of that Carolina Basement Solutions Mustang, and the G-Mac Impala now looks to the inside. Will Jeff No fight, or will he give way to the leaders just before these pit stop cycles? Ray's got to make a move. He's got Brio pressuring him from behind. Jeff No decides that he's going to make the dive to the inside. That's going to put No inside the top 10. Josh Garrison now the first car ahead of the leader, Donald Ray. Ray getting backed up, Brio having to check up high, and Cody Pennell just being cautious out in third. Toby Estes has closed the gap. What was a 7-second difference from the top 3 down to 4th has now closed in to 3 1/3 seconds. Stan the iRacer putting in 55 bits, cheering for his man Jeff No, just saving his stuff, and a big blink from No. The North Carolinian up 3 places from where he started this race. And how about this guy right here, 2-time champion Tom Sears in the 213simware.com ARCS Supra. So many sponsors on that thing, but you just gotta love the effort for being a Supra. How about that for creativity? He sits in that 5th position, up 7 places from where he started. The Season 1 and Season 3 Thursday Night Thunder champion, our hardest charger of the race so far. It's been a nice race for him, especially fuel mileage-wise. Again, the predicted track facts, drivers will go between 40 and 50 laps. But here we are on lap 70, just blowing the expectations out of the water. And as we mentioned about blowing the expectations out of the water, Rockwall's Donald Ray really showing out in these first 70 laps. Again, Ray comes into this race 17th in the points, finds himself 21 points off of Tristan Catania in 16th, but even a top 5 for driver 5 would be such an accomplishment for him. Still so much race left to go, and it looks like Cody Pennell is now on the move. He's had enough of third. The number 28 Thunderbird gets to the inside of Jeremy Brio, who gives his car a little bit of a shake out of turn number 2. The Georgian now on the bottom of turn 3 will exit out of turn number 4, still side by side with Brio. Not many drivers have a good command of the top side, but Jeremy Brio really giving the 28 a hard fight. Tristan Catania fills in the space behind the 7-4. Jason Alexander and Dustin Painter battling it out for the 6th position. This is the look from the left rear quarter panel of the 00. Dustin Painter still in that 6th position, but pulling away from Jason Alexander. 4/10 off of the fast 5. Tom Sears driving. You saw one driver blinking there. You see sparks up ahead. Could that be Toby Estes? There's Toby Estes trying to come down pit road. Aiden Norman almost making contact with him. Cody Pennell decides he's going to come down, and Tom Sears still seeing those sparks up ahead. That's a driver having a massive blink. It's Ryan Pennell in the 1-2 entering turn number 1. Some intermittent internet issues for the 1-2. Tom Sears still moving along, now up to 3rd. Donald Ray finally catching up to Jeff Noe in the 5-5. The Texan working to the inside of the North Carolinian. And Jeff Noe will now be the first car 1 lap down. Tommy Withers in the pits. Cody Pennell, Toby Estes, everybody getting their service. The 7-8 is down and away. He will re-enter the racing surface in the 14th position. Again, almost making contact with Aiden Norman. That could have been something tragic. Let's have a look. Well, and one more look. Aiden Norman going to the inside of Estes just as Estes is trying to make his way into the pits, and he gives it a big tail whip into turn number 3. Estes finds himself in 13th as the positions keep going around in circles. Donald Ray has yet to come in. Matter of fact, all of the top 11 on the left-hand side of your screen have not come down pit road. Jason Alexander in the 5th position now. Dustin Painter into 4th. Which one of these top 5 drivers will be a holdout? Will we see a new winner tonight? Will we see the same old story of the Sears and Pennell dominance? 3 wins this season between the top 2. They've won half of the races this season. Jason Alexander in 5th, half a second behind Dustin Painter. John Honeybrink on some old tires. He has yet to come down pit road. The number 8-4 of Josh Garrison sits just ahead of him. That's the battle for the 8th spot. Dustin Painter has come down pit road. Jason Alexander has decided to join him The South Carolinian brings his Gamecocks Impala in for service. Donald Ray will put him a lap down, so that leaves all of the top 4 who have not come down for service. When will they pit? 84 laps without a stop. Quite the distance to go on one set of tires, but it takes bravery. It takes quite a good deal. Look at Jeff No in the double 5. He's gone around, stuck on the racing surface, just as we were talking about bravery and precision. An unprecise move from the double 5. He goes around out of turn number 4, and the field just rings around the outside of the double 5 Mustang. This just before No comes down into the pits for tires and fuel. It will cost him dearly. Ray continues to lead in the 5. John Honeybrink up 10 places, now working to the inside of Josh Garrison. And how about this for a colorful trio? Tom Sears behind them in that highlighter yellow 1-4, looking to go to the inside of Garrison. Garrison finds himself 1 lap off the pace. John Honeybrink is now the first car 1 lap down. And again, all of the top 6 drivers have not come down for tires or fuel, including John Honeybrink and Josh Garrison. Cody Pennell and Toby Estes both pitted on lap 75. 2 of the fastest drivers all race long, and they are side by side. Or they were. There's Estes in the 7.8. I was confusing Estes for Garrison. I thought that 84 was the 78. They do look a bit similar. Yeah, they actually do look a lot alike from distance. But anyway, Cody Pennell up into that 5th spot. He's a half second ahead of John Honeybrink. Josh Garrison and Toby Estes now dueling it out for the position. Last time around, Cody Pennell, 20.8 seconds. Donald Ray, 20.68 seconds. Still looking for some good laps out of Pennell, but the leader putting in 20.6. Pennell on fresh tires. There it is, 20.44. Just waiting for the timing and scoring to catch up. So Pennell showing himself 2.5 tenths faster than Donald Ray. The Texan last time around, 20.70 seconds. And then Pennell in that 2.8 comes across the line. Survey says 20.45. So almost 3 tenths the difference now. Is it enough to make Donald Ray come down into the pits? He's got a 2.6 second gap back to Jeremy Brio. Caution free in the first 92 out of 200 laps. Tom Sears is in third by 9.8 seconds. Josh Garrison behind John Honeybrink. They're half a second apart for the 7th position. Jason Alexander and Dustin Painter nose to tail, but here comes Estes, who's been more than happy to use the chrome horn tonight. But what goes around will certainly come around at the Martinsville Speedway. 7-8. Will he move that 5-6 of Jason Alexander? They're not fighting for position. Alexander finds himself in 12th. Toby Estes in the 6th position. Aiden Norman's into the wall, and another mistake from the 6-2. The Sonoma winner makes hard contact and possibly on just worn tires. He has not come down into the pits. Let's have a look at Aiden Norman. Well, no contact with the outside wall, just slow. Perhaps he just entered a bit too quick. The number 62 Intrepid back up to race speed. He's in 12th. All eyes on race leader Donald Ray. 3-second advantage to Jeremy Brio. What does that 5 have that the rest of the field doesn't? The grip and the patience working out for the Texan. He's led the majority of laps so far. And if he leads 20 more, he may very well lead the most laps today. The 7-5 of James Kerr sits in 4th. Kerr is the last car on the lead lap. There is Donald Ray about to put him 1 lap down. Again, both drivers still have not come down pit road. It has been a cautionless race thus far at Martinsville. And fans, don't forget to put in !TNT giveaway 7 for your chance to win that AJ Allmendinger race win diecast. You can check out pictures on Twitter at RickJamesTV and Thursday Night Thunder Television. Toby Estes has gone around in the 7-8, motionless on the inside of turns 1 and 2. He jumps to the pits. What went on with the 78? Let's have a look. Oh, he just sent it a little too hard. Comes down to a dignified halt, but he jumps to the pits, and that'll be it for the 78. Estes possibly getting some repairs done on that race car, not sure. He finds himself in the 15th position, and the leader is in. Donald Ray has said enough is enough, and he's going to bring the G-Max Chevrolet into the pits. That's going to make Jeremy Brio your new leader in the number 7-4 No Fear machine. Brio will get a bonus point for leading the lap, but now how long will Jeremy Brio stay out? That's what everybody wants to know. Brio decides he's going to come in. How about Tom Sears in the 1-4 machine? Will he stay out to lead a lap, or will he decide to come down and not push the envelope? Sears will stay out. James Kerr III comes down that back straight. Kerr still in that 3rd position. You see Ryan Pennell making his way into the pits. Tom Sears will stay out and lead a lap. He's up 11 places. Sears, Kerr, and Honeybrink in 6th. 3 drivers that have not pitted. There's a few more on the board who have yet to come down. Cody Pennell in the 28. Cody Pennell in the 28. Comes into that 3rd corner. Last time around, 20.45 seconds. He's 4/10 quicker than Tom Sears. 13 seconds is the gap, and is the Massachusetts pilot waiting for a yellow? Is he gambling, or is he really just stretching these tires as far as he can, then expecting to drive his heart out in the second half of this race? Last time around, Sears 3/10 slower than Cody Pennell. And there's the gap over the last 5 laps. Mr. Jason Alexander, half a second off of Dustin Painter. These two, they've been stuck like glue since the green flag flew. The 00 sits ahead of that 5-6. These drivers both within a second of each other. There is that battle for 6th. Good friends, these two. Something you gotta love about Thursday Night Thunder is just the friendship that you see among all these drivers. Of course, you know, they do drive with very passionate hearts. We're all here because we love racing, but first and foremost, Thursday Night Thunder does bring these great friends together, and it's what makes this competition awesome. Competition is going to change at the front, however. Tom Sears has decided it's finally his turn to get tires and fuel. Jeremy Brio pitted on lap 101. He sits in 3rd. John Honeybrink has decided he's on his way in, and that's going to leave no more drivers that have not come down pit road. Everybody has come down at least once for tires and fuel. Your new leader is Good Hope, Georgia's Cody Pennell. Cousin Cody looking to match Tom Sears in wins this season. Pennell has the 1 victory, and he's looking to get his 2nd at Martinsville. Ryan Pennell up to the 11th position, only 0.8 of a second behind this driver here. Josh Garrison in the 8-4. Garrison up to 9th. John Honeybrink comes back out on the racetrack in the 11th spot. Honeybrink is 2 laps off the mark. And how about Ryan Pennell in that 1-2? He just went green, going 20.34 seconds, his personal best time of the race. John Honeybrink obviously coming down pit road that last time around, so his lap time is going to be much slower. And there you see Pinnell's fastest time, 20.39 seconds. Donald Ray making headway. Let's compare his lap times to that of Cody Pinnell up ahead. There you see, Pinnell has been consistently slower. Look at the difference, 0.6 of a second, 0.4 of a second, 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, all that over the last 5 laps. Donald Ray closing in on cousin Cody, and you don't want to jinx him too quickly, but is the Texan on his way to a first victory? It's been a dominant run so far for the top 3, Cody Pinnell, Donald Ray, and Jeremy Brio, all on the lead lap, everybody else at least 1 lap down. Just marvelous driving so far, but still plenty of battles within these cars that are a lap off the pace. That 5.6 of Jason Alexander sitting in the 6th spot. He's 0.4 of a second behind North Carolina's Dustin Painter. The Aqua Fresh Pontiac comes into this race looking to gain 1 or 2 more places if he can. He's only 5 points behind Thomas Andrews coming into this 7th round. Andrews obviously not in the race tonight, so Andrews will collect what TNT calls drop points. Kind of a mulligan, if you will, but it's going to be minimum points tonight for Thomas Andrews, while Dustin Painter, who's currently on a top 5 run, seeks to make out big time. Jason Alexander's had an incident in the 5.6. He goes off the track. We stay green. What happened to the South Carolinian? Wide line out of turn number 4. Look at this, 3 wide into turn number 1. And just another case of sending it just a little too hard. The 5.6 of Jason Alexander almost getting run over by Josh Garrison. Let's ride on board Garrison. Have a look at this. How about that right there? That's going to deserve an award. Let's go to Josh Garrison and give him his props. With that swerve there, the 8.4 of Garrison wins the race's first cold trickle move of the race.
Ice cream!
Give me some of them!
Ice cream indeed, Cole. Ice cream indeed. Aiden Norman just on the nose of Toby Estes. Estes finds himself in the 15th position. Toby's had a couple of spins tonight, but still looking to represent the state of Kentucky the best that he can. 80 laps remain in this race. That's plenty of time to make up a couple of spots. Richmond, Virginia's Ryan Pinnell up to the 10th position. That's 8 places up from where he started. From dead last into the top 10, he's a half second behind Josh Garrison. John Honeybrink, however, only a third of a second behind Pinnell. The 20 and the 12 are battling it out for 10th. Again, winning last week's race at Talladega, John Honeybrink in that 20. Possibly a chip on his shoulder coming into this week. A lot to play for, a lot to gain from this 9th position. Like Tristan Catania ahead of him, Honeybrink up 7 places since the green flag flew. Catania finds himself 16 seconds off the mark of Jason Alexander. Tommy Withers has crashed, and the Virginian jumps right into the pits. The Amoco Grand Prix having a crash. Let's have a look. That's Aiden Norman, who is inside the 6. brushes up against the wall. Possible tire damage for him. He spins it and does tag the wall in the right front corner. Let's ride along with Withers. There's the contact with the right side of the wall. I don't think that was hard enough to damage anything, but that tag right there just must have been enough to send him into the pits. Have another look. Tom Sears getting hard on the brakes to avoid that. Tommy Withers still receiving repair. Tom Sears up to the 4th position, up 8 places from where he started. He's gotten himself on the lead lap. He's 11 seconds off of Donald Ray in the 3rd position. Ray now working on Jeremy Brio in that 7-4. The No Fear Impala watching the GMAC Impala make hard contact with that outside wall. Tom Sears working on Jason Alexander. Not for position, however. Alexander finds himself in 7th. If you've just tuned in, you're watching Thursday Night Thunder Round 7 from the Martinsville Speedway. I'm Rick James, and these cars are 130 laps into the 200-lap contest. Don't forget, you've got that chance to win that race win AJ Allmendinger 164 diecast. Enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 7 for your chance to win. Shout out to everybody watching on Twitch, YouTube, and the Sim Racing channel on Roku. Tristan Catania in the 4-8, up to the 11th spot. Josh Garrison behind him. In front of him, I should say. Garrison in front in 10th. Ryan Pinnell up 9 places in 9th. Everybody getting just a bit closer, pushing a bit further. Still one more pit stop in these drivers' futures, possibly. Drivers that came down on lap 106 include Tom Sears and John Honeybrink in the 20. Is it a one-stop race for them? Are they not worried about being 1 lap off the pace? Race leader Cody Pinnell came down on lap 75. Is Pinnell ready to throw? Look at this, a caution's come out. I was going to say, is Pinnell ready to throw a 125-lap run at the end of this race? And it looks like he might not have to. Caution comes out on lap 130, a 3-car crash involving Josh Garrison, Aiden Norman, and Tristan Catania. Let's have a look. This is several laps prior. These 3 cars just beating and banging. This is Ryan Pinnell getting around Josh Garrison in the 84. Garrison making contact with the wall. Here comes Tristan Catania to his inside. There's Catania going topside in turn number 4. Catania comes down on the 62. While those two crash, Josh Garrison having his own problem. Bizarre. Let's have a look. Garrison sends it out of 4, tries to catch it. He makes contact with the wall. All the while that's going on, there comes Aiden Norman and Tristan Catania just skidding into him. Let's see what happened between these two. Catania's just going to come hard off of turn number 4. They're going to make contact. And how about Tom Sears making his way through that accident? Alpha York has entered the giveaway. He puts 20 bits into the chat. He's cheering for John Honeybrink in that 8th position. And that brings out the first caution of the evening. So we all get a chance to catch our breaths. Donald Ray leading the race. He did come down on lap 133. So did Cody Pinnell. So did Jeremy Brio. Almost everybody deciding to come down pit road. Jimmy Kerr did not. He's up to the 6th position. Everybody except Kerr has decided to come down for tires and fuel. Tommy Withers pitted on lap 119. He's staying out. So we'll see if Kerr decides to stay out after the break. Donald Ray is your race leader. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 60-second break, and we'll be back with the final 65 laps of racing from Martinsville. Pace car peeling off. Donald Ray, the race leader, he will wait for the 75 of Kerr to move. Kerr moves, and we're racing again at the paperclip. Ray goes around. Contact from Cody Pennell. Ray goes onto the grass, saves it. Jeremy Brio, your race leader now. Look at this, to the inside of Aiden Norman. Cody Pennell getting a bit impatient, it looked like, with the 6-2. Ray saves the race car. Unbelievable save from that number 5. He's still well in this race. Tom Sears up into third. Cody Pennell into second. And a crazy restart for the 5. He had the lapped cars of Jimmy Kerr and Aiden Norman, the row ahead of him. Again, this is Thursday Night Thunder rules, a little bit of a vintage rules, if you will. Lap cars starting on the tail end of the lead lap, start ahead of the leader. On that restart, cars on the tail end start ahead of the leader, lapped cars on the left to the lead lap cars. Sounds complicated. If you're new to NASCAR, stick with us. We will explain that. If you need, just drop us a line in the chat. Say, explain those restart rules one more time. Let's have a look at this restart. Cody Pennell, Donald Ray getting into some trouble. Ray sends it in deep into turn number 1. You can see he locks up the tires. Nowhere for Cody Pennell to go. Contact from the 6-2, the 2-8. One more look at Donald Ray. See, by the time he's realized it, it's just too late. 1, 2, 3 cars getting involved. Sears making his way around the outside. The Texan into the 4th position. Jeremy Brio, who won, I believe, last season at Watkins Glen in that 7-4, now leads once again with just over 50 laps remaining. Only one caution so far in the first 3 quarters of this race. Suicideways in the chat says, "Let's go Kentucky boys," cheering for Toby Estes in the 7-8 and Briley Wright in the 1-8. Two of the 3 Bluegrass Bandits. Well, no, now just Toby Estes. Looking at the scoreboard, it looks like Briley Wright is actually out of the race, as it were. So Toby Estes now flying the flag for the Bluegrass State, the number 7-8. Reese's University machine now on the back end of Donald Ray, but not for position. Ray is in 4th, 1 1/3 seconds off of this driver here, Tom Sears, in the 213simware.com Toyota, just behind Cody Pennell. Half a second the distance from 2nd to 3rd. Jeremy Brio equidistant at the front. 54 laps remain at the paperclip. Jeff Noe and Tristan Catania swapping positions. The Richmond winner to the inside of the New Jersey driver, the number 48 Camaro. There goes Donald Ray again. Crash between Donald Ray, Ryan Pennell, James Kerr has been involved, and a dominant performance for Rockwall, Texas. Donald Ray up in smoke with 51 laps remaining. He will mount the comeback of the season to get back into fighting shape. To quote COT Tommy in the chat earlier, don't sleep on that 5 car. Caution is out for the 2nd time tonight. Ray goes high out of turn number 2. He gives it too much gas out of the corner. Nowhere for Jimmy Kerr to go. John Honeybrink gets a piece of that one. Ryan Pennell trying to avoid all of this unsuccessfully. Have a look. One more look. Nowhere for anybody to go by the time the yellow flag comes out. Looks like Jason Alexander, Dustin Painter, Jeff No cleverly making their way through as Mama Vols enters the chat. She says, "Hey Rick, what's going on, Mama Vols? Glad to have you here. Send my love to the family, wherever they might be. Mama, don't forget to put in exclamation point TNT giveaway 7 for your chance to win that AJ Allmendinger race win diecast. Jeff No has, not Jeff No, I'm sorry, Alpha York has entered the chat. Alpha York 023 puts in exclamation point TNT giveaway 7. He is in the drawing. 50 laps remain at the Martinsville Speedway. Jeremy Brio has control of the field. Cody Pennell in the 2nd position. And Dustin Painter being scored in 3rd. How about that for the North Carolinian? Another caution comes out. We're going to get another car on the lead lap. So while the drivers roll around in a circle and figure that out, we'll take another 60-second break and we'll be back for the final 49 laps of racing from Martinsville. Jeremy Brio will have control of the field as we go racing once again. We're inside the final 50. Bama Trama has entered the chat for the diecast giveaway. There's a choke at the back of the field just as we go green, but everybody makes it through, mostly unscathed. We're racing again at Martinsville. Jeremy Brio leads Cody Pennell into that first corner. 45-ish laps remain. It's 7-4, 2-8-0-0. Top 3, a Chevy Ford Pontiac. Top 3, the Thunderbird of Pennell, the Grand Prix of Painter in 2nd and 3rd, respectively. That's Toby Estes. He finds himself in the 10th position. 3 laps off the pace in his number 7-8 Reese's Machine. Aiden Norman with a tail whip out of the 2nd corner. But this isn't the X Games. You'll get no style points for that. The 6'2 Intrepid soldiers on. 4th in line, 11th in the running order. Toby Estes in that orange and yellow 78, his nearest rival. Donald Ray will need to work extremely hard to mount this comeback. Spun it by himself in turn number 1 on a restart. Just after the restart, spun it again this time. He stays moving in the right direction as it looks like Toby Estes may have lost the spot there. Let's have a look at the 7-8, already slow. Cody Pennell getting into the 78 of Toby Estes. Not sure what happened there. Let's have one more look. Not sure if there was contact earlier between these two. Looks like Cody just turned left. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but nevertheless, the contact puts the 78 to the inside. He's now in 13th. Estes behind Jason Alexander, who's running in 6th. That's South Carolina Impala. Now chasing down Tristan Catania, not for position, however. Tom Sears is in the 5th position. He's the next closest driver to Alexander. And Sears working the back end of Donald Ray. This the battle for 4th with 41 laps to go in round 7. Tom Sears up 7 places since the green flag flew. Donald Ray, regardless, several laps ago, we said a top 5 would be a marvelous drive for the Texan, but he has got the car to win. With 40 laps remaining, can he make up the 3-second gap? Jeremy Brio is running away with this lead. Of course, that most recent caution allowed the drivers to come down on lap 134, but how about the drivers that came in after that? Donald Ray leads that brigade. He pitted on lap 148. Jason Alexander pitted on lap 150. Tom Sears, Jim Kerr, John Honeybrink, all coming down under that last caution. Is that the last set of tires they'll be able to use? Was it the right gamble? Dustin Painter in the 2nd position. That's Cody Pennell behind him by 0.3 of a second. And how about this North Carolinian? He's going to make up big points on Thomas Andrews in the point standings, but he's only 10 points off of Cody Pennell, who sits directly behind him. Next week marks the halfway point in Thursday Night Thunder Season 5. Where will these drivers end up, and what will the outlook be moving forward? Mount Kilimanjaro says, let's go Norman. Cheering on for that 6-2 of Aiden Norman. Phil, don't forget, enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 7. Get that chance to win that AJ Allmendinger diecast. Local 1-hour raffle last week. And I forget what diecast he won. It was the Ryan Newman diecast, right? Because it was round 6. So local is unable, or ineligible, I should say, to win this week. Exclamation point TNT giveaway 7. Once again, the code for your chance to win. John Honeybrink with an issue. The number 20 Interstate Pontiac goes for a skid and a scrape down the back straight. He will not come down pit road. Let's see what happened to him. Did he give it too full of a send out of the second corner? And the car just snapped around on him. Let's have a listen. Big snap from the 2-0. Back in racing form. However, Jeremy Brio 2.5 seconds ahead of Dustin Painter. Aiden Norman making way in the 6-2. Cody Pennell in 3rd. Is he just saving his stuff, waiting for Painter to make the move? Donald Ray has caught up to the back end of the 2-8 car. Ray going as fast as he can while Pennell tries to find moonlight to the inside of the 00. There's some contact, possibly a bit of a bottleneck, a concertina, if you will. Ray now attacking to the inside. Mount Kilimanjaro says, nice. Inside the final 30 laps of racing now. Dustin Painter in 2nd, Cody Pennell in 3rd, Jeremy Brio leading all of this mayhem by 3 seconds. Phil is now in the giveaway. He's put in exclamation point TNT giveaway 7. Dustin Painter has gone around in turn 4. Cody Pennell, Donald Ray involved. Caution flies for the 3rd time in the Virginia mountains. Donald Ray whips his car around. Let's see what happened this time around. Looks like John Honeybrink also caught a piece of that. Cody Pinnell getting into the back end of the 00. Donald Ray gets into him. And Ray whips his car around. Let's have another look. On board Cody Pinnell. With Donald Ray. Let's have a look with Tom Sears. And one more look outside turn number 4. Not a lot of drivers making it through, but the lights will shine at Martinsville. Those yellow lights, that is caution number 3 is out. Tom Sears leads the way. Cody Pinnell being scored in that second position, in South Carolina's Jason Alexander in the 3rd spot. How about that for the fan of those South Carolina Gamecocks? He's put that Chevy up into the bronze medal position. We have 25 laps remaining. Cole315 entered the chat and the giveaway. He put in exclamation point TNT giveaway 7, so he received his ticket. He and Moldy talking about Cody getting maybe a little impatient. And if you've just tuned in, you have a chance to win that number 16 AJ Allmendinger diecast as well. All you have to do is type in exclamation point TNT giveaway 7 for your chance to win that AJ Allmendinger diecast. Thursday Night Thunder drivers are ineligible to win. And of course, last week's winner, Local, ineligible to win that diecast this week as well. So the lights are off atop the pace car. 23 laps is all we're going to have when we restart this race. Tom Sears last pitted on lap 148. Cody Pinnell in second pitted 15 laps before him. Jason Alexander has the freshest tires of the top 4 drivers. Jeremy Brio, Dustin Painter, Jimmy Kerr, Ryan Pinnell all came down during that last caution. They have the freshest tires on the racetrack. 23 laps remain. Tom Sears comes in with the points lead. Will he come out with a win? Green flag is out at Martinsville. Dustin Painter to the inside of Jason Alexander. This is for the 5th position. 7 cars now on the lead lap. Toby Estes trying to move to the inside of the South Carolinian. Estes on the grass. Did Toby give it a full send into the corner? Jason Alexander now up alongside the wall. The 5-6 now has Ryan Pinnell to his inside. Not 4th position, however. Alexander still in 6th. Jimmy Kerr now moves in front of him. Local says, let's see Cody pull out the dub. Dustin Painter coming down pit road. Heavy damage to the 00 Pontiac. Not what we wanted to see. What happened to him? There's the pass on the inside of Jason Alexander. Possible damage to the inside of Dustin Painter. There's Toby Estes making that contact. And did Painter just send it hard off the corner? Cole315 in the chat says, that wheel, she gone. The 00 just gave it too much. Slams off that inside wall. Let's have a look here with Dustin Painter. Oh, and this is well before that. Just have a look and a listen here out of turn number 2. It's sim racing, but that is quite some hit. Dustin Painter back out on the racing surface. How about this? Jeremy Brio goes purple, 19.93 seconds, the first and only lap in this race under 20 seconds. There on the left-hand side, you can see the fastest laps so far. Brio's the only one, starting with that 1.9. Brio moving to the inside of Cody Pennell for that second position. 1.4, 7.4, 2.8. Now your top 3. Mobley says, rest in pieces, D-Buck's left front. Gone, but not forgotten. Suicideways says, don't take much for these cars to snap like that. Hate to see it for Dustin. Same thing happened to Cody Riggs as well. Just lost the car off of turn number 4, slamming that inside wall. Tom Sears ahead of Jeremy Brio. Here goes Brio to the inside of the 2-time champion. Sears can't close the door. Brio forces his way through, and that 7.4 Impala SS is side by side with the 14 Supra. Brio clears Sears 7.4, new leader, 13 to go, this time by. Jeremy Brio making those tires work for him. He pitted on lap 173, this most recent caution, and those general tires being put to work for that 7.4. Cody Pennell, he pitted 15 laps before Tom Sears. Is he squeezing the pressure? How about Donald Ray in the 4th position? Anything is still possible. Colt 315 says, love short track racing. Great tire call on the 74. And we'll see if Brio can hang on for another dozen circuits. It would be his first win of the season. Suicideways in the chat says, happy birthday, Dustin Painter. Dustin Painter turning some age. I have no idea. But in any case, happy birthday to the North Carolinian. Brio has not gotten rid of Sears just yet. It will be 9 at the line, and that is the gap. That's what 0.3 of a second looks like from the passenger seat of that 14. Suicideways says, it's his Richard Petty year, he said. If that tells you anything. Talking about Dustin Painter celebrating the big 4-3. So I guess that makes him the king for this whole year, doesn't it? We'll let him sort that one out. Tristan Catania making a late race move on Aiden Norman. This is for a top 10 position. And props to Aiden Norman. He must enjoy sliding the back end of that car because his tail has been hanging out all night long. Norman down to 11th where he started. Tristan Catania up 5 places from where he started. And how about Ryan Pennell, one of our 2 hardest chargers of the race? He's up 10 places from stone dead last in 18th. Pennell finds himself in 8th right now. Tom Sears going way wide out of turn number 2. Cody Pennell getting up behind the 1.4. The Thunderbird really putting the pressure to the Supra. Look at both of these drivers in a 4-wheel power slide out of turn number 4, making all that they can at Martinsville. Pennell really giving it everything. He knows that the points battle is on. 20 markers between himself in second, Tom Sears in first, and only 10 points between Cody Pennell and Dustin Painter, who's having an excellent run in the 7th spot. Every last position must be fought for in Thursday Night Thunder. It is an elite club of drivers, invitation only to get into this Thursday Night League, and you're seeing the best of the best in sim racing. Jeremy Brio ahead of Tom Sears by 3/4 of a second, half a second back is Cody Pennell. The top 3 separated by no more than 1 1/3 seconds. Aiden Norman Now falling off the pace to Tristan Catania. Toby Estes starting to make up that gap, but it's quite a gap with 2.5 laps remaining. Jeremy Brio, 0.8 of a second ahead of Tom Sears. Can Brio hold on? Plenty of mistakes have been made in this race thus far, and Brio only has to make it through 8 more corners to survive and get the W. Sears, 0.9 of a second behind, looking for his 3rd win this season, while Cody Pennell sends it in deep into the first corner to stay within a half second to the Massachusetts driver. Jeremy Brio comes into this race with an average finish of 10th, with an average start of 3rd, but it looks like he may very well leave with his first win of the season. A surprise winner for sure at Martinsville, but he has earned it. Make no mistake. Off the final corner, Jeremy Brio wins round 7. Tom Sears just beats Cody Pennell across the line. 1/4 of a second, the gap there. Donald Ray coming home in 4th. Jeremy Brio with the win. Jimmy Kerr the 3rd in that 5th position. Jason Alexander will finish in 6th. Dustin Painter in 7th. Ryan Pennell, joint hardest charger. He will come home in 8th. Mount Kilimanjaro says, nice win. Cole 315 also giving his congratulations to Jeremy Brio, and the 74 will celebrate his well-earned victory. Don't go anywhere, fans. We'll have top 3 on the podium in just a moment. On the podium now with our top 3 drivers after a successful round 7 at the Martinsville Speedway. Let's start with Good Hope, Georgia's Cody Pennell, who at one point dominated this race. Cody, you led the first 30-plus laps of this race, and you were in great contention for the win, and it came out with a bronze medal. Fantastic race.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. It was kind of a crazy race. I pit on lap 75, not realizing that you could go on only one stop halfway through the race. So that, first of all, that got me all screwed up, and then caution came out about lap 130 that put me back on strategy with those guys, and had some good, hard, clean racing with them there. I probably owe an apology to D-Bucks. I know he's pissed at me, but just things get kind of heated sometimes on short tracks, and I kind of felt like I was done dirty in the moment, but looking back, probably shouldn't have done that. So I had to talk to him. But other than that, pretty good race.
7 days from now, we're going to end up at the Pocono Raceway. after some apology birthday cake with Dustin Painter, what's going to be your strategy moving forward for Pocono?
Practice a lot because that track is not one of my best. So get a lot of practice in and hopefully show up and maybe put some points, close the points gap between me and Larkin a little bit. He's going to start pulling away from me here before too much longer.
22 points, now the gap, great damage control, only losing 2 markers to the 2-time champion. Cody, we'll see you in a week.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. And shout out to Jeremy and Team Sideswipe on the win tonight. Good run, buddy.
Speaking of the 2-time champion, Tom Sears, you still have that points lead. 318 to 298 is the difference. Headed into Pocono Raceway, what will this second place finish do for you in a week's time?
Man, I'm sweating. Those racing Jeremy and Cody, that's some very very tough competition. So to be able to come in second, to get just one marker ahead of Cody's, every point matters here in the championship points. So that was a big deal because I did not qualify well. I did not start well. It was rough sledding. So just honestly, always great racing these guys. I thought the three of us kept it very clean up there. I thought we kept it about as clean as we could from Martinsville racing for a win. So congrats to Jeremy on the win. That was a great win. He just drove right past us all, and so congrats to him. And thank you, Rick, for the stream. As always, appreciate it a lot. Shout out to 213 Simware. They've got some merch over there, and the stream on Roku as well.
Appreciate you, Tomo. Before we go to our race winner, let's put this giveaway to bed. The AJ Allmendinger diecast up for grabs between Bama Trama, Cole 315, Alpha York, and Mount Kilimanjaro. Our winner tonight will be Cole 315, who wins that number 16 AJ Allmendinger 164 race win diecast. Cole, you are now ineligible to win next week's giveaway at the Pocono Raceway. Everybody else, tune in next week, ! TNT Giveaway 8. And stay tuned on Twitter to Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. We'll show you the diecast we'll be giving away in a week's time. But let's have a word with our race winner. I'll be honest, Jeremy, I did not expect you to be in contention to win this race, but you picked your moment, and lo and behold, you've got the gold medal tonight in round 7. Congratulations on this Martinsville win.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. I just got to say, first of all, that was probably one of the cleanest Martinsville races I've ever raced. I want to shout out to everybody who was in this race tonight, all the admins that put this on, and thank you, Rick, for streaming it and putting it on Roku TV on the Sim Racing channel. So thanks to everybody. I mean, it was a hell of a race. I've never raced so hard and barely touched anybody before at Martinsville, and I think that's just a testament to the drivers that we got in this league. And you know, I just can't believe I won it either. I mean, I thought I threw it away with 25 to go. I thought I threw it away when that first caution came out, and I continued to think I threw it away until I finally passed Tom there at the end, and then. But yeah, it was a hell of a race, and when I was racing with Jacket during that long green flag run at the beginning, I was trying to make him make a mistake each and every time, and he held his own. And again, shout out to him. He was racing me clean. I mean, we never touched, I don't think. So, but yeah, and then got on the caution strategy there where he'd pit every 2 cautions. So that worked out pretty well, I guess, because I guess everybody thought it would be better to stay out there at the end, and I just had a set of tires left, so I was just like, well, might as well take them because they'll probably do the opposite of me. So thank God it worked out. Thank God we didn't get another caution because they would have probably used their last set and then they would have blown around me. But other than that, hell of a race.
Fantastic race. You took the skills from last week at the 2.67 Darlington to this half mile in Martinsville, and now we'll see you in a week's time as our most recent TNT winner at the 2.5 mile Pocono Raceway. Congratulations on the W.
Thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, that's another TNT race in the books. Round 7 complete, and next week we go from the paperclip to the tricky triangle in the Pocono Mountains. Jeremy Brio, your most recent TNT winner, will take his talents to his home track out in Pocono, and we'll see what the Pennsylvanian can do there. Congratulations to Cole315 winning that diecast. To everybody watching on Twitch, YouTube, and the Sim Racing channel on Roku TV, thank you so very much for tuning in. We cannot do these races without you fans week in and week out. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all around the